May I now invite Indira Chakravarti, please. Indira has completed a PhD and currently is a research fellow at GNU. That should ring a bell for most of us in Delhi. Indira, if the technique is with you, then the floor is yours.
And giving me an opportunity to work on this very important topic. I'd like to take off from what Dr. Sundararaman presented. In fact, I'm very glad that he's laid the setting for what I needed to say. And I couldn't have said all that in the 10-minute span. So thank you, Dr. Sundararaman, for asking the question as to, it's not just a matter of how many doctors, but it's also that are they accessible, are they available to the people who need them? So where are the doctors located? Now, one of the very important measures that has been taken by governments to attract doctors to rural areas that Krishna spoke about is of financial incentives. So PHRN commissioned this very small case study on the effectiveness of financial incentives in Orissa. That is, as far as I know, that is the only state, I think, and now probably the other two studies that Krishna presented. The main objective of the study was to look at the effectiveness. It was a qualitative case study, largely by purposive selection of districts. Now, Orissa has provided incentives to in-service doctors in 11 KBK districts. I'll just come to that. There are 11 incentivized KBK districts. KBK standing for Koraput, for Kalahandi, Bolangir, Koraput. I'll just show that in a map. So we purposively selected 3 districts, one non-incentive district of Mayurbhanj and 2 incentivized districts of Koraput and Kalahandi for a qualitative case study. So we held interviews. These were the total number of facilities, all purposively selected, and a total of 30 doctors and some other administrators in the capital city of Bhubaneswar. There is a state human resource management unit, and so some of the the bureaucrats, the health bureaucrats were also interviewed for the study. Now, this is to give an idea. The KBK districts need to be specially mentioned. They count among the poorest districts, the poorest regions in the country itself. They have a large tribal population and substantial primitive and tribal groups among them, and a very large rural population, interestingly. The other feature is they're part of the northern fringes of the eastern Ghats, so hilly forested areas, very rich in resources, especially bauxite, and hence also an intense conflict area in the present circumstances. Now, Dr. Sundararaman has also mentioned, so in a sense, this study, this very small study, as I repeat, does provide some quote-unquote evidence for the effectiveness of financial incentives. There has been no significant impact in improving the availability of doctors. I just like to mention that initially the incentive schemes was introduced in 2006 by the Orissa government. The objective at that time was to tackle chronic absenteeism in the KBK districts. The objective was that doctors are posted, but they don't remain there, and so incentives to get the doctors to stay in the facilities where they are posted. That was the objective with which that was started. So in terms of that, in terms of retention and staying at the facility also, it has reduced absenteeism to a very small extent. We have not gone into exact calculations, but that is what the doctors who were interviewed, we had a structured interview with all the doctors. So one is looking at the vacancies in these 2 districts. There are continuing vacancies in all the categories, especially at the levels that are posted in the periphery. the junior and the senior level vacancies continue. Even at the district hospital, there was very bitter complaints of how they don't have sufficient doctors, they don't have radiographers. So see, we have to keep in mind the district hospital is not in a rural area. It's very much located in the district headquarters, and still there were no doctors. The incentive amount, I forgot to mention, is 4,000 rupees in the district hospital area, and in the peripheral area, 6,000 rupees a month. It started with 4,000 and 6,000, and it has then been raised to 6,000 and 8,000 respectively. Now, even, so one is of the continuing vacancies, the more important thing that came out was that doctors were being shown as posted. So you may have doctors being shown as posted, but some of them either on study leave, especially those who had joined to avail of the reservation for post-graduation. So either on study leave or either gone off for the post-graduation, or from the lower facility deputed to the higher facility. Like several PHCs, the doctors were posted in the PHCs, but we met them in the CHC. One specifically, of course, they had either been deputed because there was shortage in the CHC, or from the CHC they were deputed, especially for specialists, we were told, who had been deputed to either the subdivisional hospital or the district hospital. The other important issue that was raised was they are shown as posted here, but we don't know where they are. We found out that they're probably working in the capital city itself. So the figures also then need to be taken with caution, that even if this, for instance, I'll show later in Kalahandi, I've put the figures, but this is in one district where we got the figures from 2006 when the incentive was introduced. If you see, in 2006, if the vacancies were around 72, they had just reduced to about 68 over a 4-year period. And then even if it was further reduced, are the doctors physically present? That question remains. In the facilities we visited, there were CHCs, 2 CHCs, 12 PHCs, which did not have MOs, which were functioning without MOs. And then again in the CHCs, specialists shown as posted, but on either study leave or on unauthorized leave. If you look at the HMIS figures district-wise that are provided, they have all the details. So we have taken that from those details, where district-wise, for Koraput, Kalahandi, Mayurbhanj, for all these 3 districts, we looked at the HMIS figures to see the actual positions of the doctors. Name-wise, you get the listing of whether the doctors are there or not. So that is one way, apart from physically visiting the facilities. Now, very similar findings the Common Review Mission has also reported for 2011. One is little change in the position. Is that my time over? Beep or some such thing? Okay. Okay. The other important thing that I'd like to just stress on is what the CRM also reported is the amount of dissatisfaction expressed by the medical officers. I'll come to this regarding the incentive schemes itself, but yeah, this one. One is what was important. If incentives were not the reason for the doctors staying, and even with incentives, if there was absenteeism, what would make them stay? I think categorically all the doctors, and interestingly even in the non-incentive district, which is Mayurbhanj, where there is no incentive, but even there the doctor said incentives do not play any role in the decision to join or even to continue staying. What was important is non-monetary incentives. It's important, I'm using a lot of quotes from the doctors only to say that doctors will work even without incentives provided infrastructure and facilities are available. Now, this was a major issue, very demoralizing for the doctors who repeatedly pointed out, again I emphasize, even in the non-incentive district of Mayurbhanj, where there is lack of basic infrastructure and no support to do their curative work. As I had put in earlier, if you look at the number of pharmacists, for instance, or the number of lab technicians, or the number of radiographers in health facilities in Orissa, those are the kind of figures. Very little pharmacists, absolutely no lab technicians. Whatever lab technicians are there are all under the NRHM programs, under the malaria control program, and so on. So major deterrents, the major deterrent being lack of infrastructure, very poor working conditions, poor pay structure, no transparency in posting. In fact, the doctors had a strike the previous year, and there were major conflicts around that. And issues such as resentment against the health bureaucracy, interestingly, which makes schemes but is not very aware of the field reality. And NRHM, again, there were mixed responses. They say NRHM has improved availability of resources, but at the lower levels, the MOs complain that we are not a doctor anymore. There is very heavy workload. So there is this whole conflict of clinical work versus administrative work. So the view was that, yes, we all want improvement in the infrastructure, we want improvement in the health services, but we want to work as doctors. So the whole administrative work that has increased, something needs to be done about that. And interestingly, even some of the NRHM staff said even they are facing staff shortages. So it is not just the state government health service, but the NRHM issues itself, which we didn't look at. 2 minutes more. So what would draw in the doctors? These are, again, I'm reproducing from what the doctors themselves had to say, the 30-odd doctors we spoke to. If the infrastructure is developed, if living and working facilities, service conditions, if these are improved, then incentives are not needed. Doctors will join and will stay. And interestingly, the younger doctors whom we spoke to said about very, very rough estimates. They said in every batch that, I mean, every doctor whom we spoke to, he said that in my batch about 30 to 40% do join for the PG reservation, but some, and not all get into PG, so they would like to stay. So there is a certain proportion that is joining for various reasons. I didn't go into that. But they are joining simply because there isn't a private sector available for the doctors to go to. The private sector is not paying enough. So the younger doctors are saying, we would like to join. But you see the situation here. There is absolutely no living accommodation. I mean, budgetary figures, I hope I can bring that up in the discussion, but very abysmal quarters for people to live. So how can we stay? That is the question that was repeatedly posed. What is more serious is the older doctors saying that there are middle-level doctors, but what is going to happen when we retire because the younger lot is not joining. So they were almost talking of a crisis in the coming years if doctors are not brought in to join. Lastly, as Dr. Sundararaman himself said, the issue also is to get the doctors, but to also ask why are the doctors not joining the government service. In fact, in Orissa itself, it was pointed out that there is no shortage of doctors. There are sufficient doctors, but they are not joining. This is from a very high-level bureaucrat whom we spoke to. He said there are sufficient doctors, but if conditions are not improved, they are not going to join. The issue is, one which got left is incentives in Orissa at least are an order that is passed annually by the state government. It is subject to concurrence from the finance department. So the doctors do not know whether they are going to get the incentives or not. In the first place, it is not an issue. The infrastructure and service conditions are an issue. In the second place, they are not getting it regularly because every year the government has to pass an order. And that takes time. And then once it is passed, the doctors themselves, there is a paper trail. The CDMO has to approve, the collector has to approve. So there are these operational hurdles also. Finally, we are repeatedly told, see, incentives by themselves are not going to work. Clearly, in Orissa itself, the state expenditure on health has actually reduced. There is another study which shows a clear reduction in the expenditure. And the other issues, the larger systemic issues, all the time we are being told to look at the larger picture. So if we don't look at the larger picture in terms of lack of infrastructure, the whole issue of corruption across, and then the inequities in medical education. There are several issues that will have to be looked at if we want doctors to go to the rural areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Indira.